Hey there everybody, welcome to another Pro SC2 cast done by yours truly, Mathis Starcraft, and today I've got a very special guest with me.
Hey guys, it's Titus Starcraft, and thank you Mathis for having me today.
Hey, no problem man, always fun casting with other people, especially when they know what the hell they're talking about. This is going to be on Tall Dream Ultra. This is Game 2 in a best of 3, and we're not exactly sure where this came from, what best of 3 it is, but the first game, if there's any indication, the second game should be really fun. The first game's on Titus's channel. I will throw up a link for you. Go check him out. Subscribe. View all his videos. He's really knows what he's talking about, and he's a lot of fun to watch. So, this map, very big, as we all know, much more macro-oriented. I would not be surprised if we saw a Forge Fast Expand or Nexus First out of MC. And over here in the Zerg, I should introduce the players, is Complexity's MVP, also known as Dongregu, which is the DRG in his name, and that is what it stands for. What are you looking forward to in this particular match after watching Game 1?
Well, I think Dongregu should maybe throw some pressure, as he did play pretty passive last time, and MC was the pressure. I love this map for Protoss. It's pretty easy to secure that third, and I think it's relatively hard for Zerg to get up a fifth. I think it's easier for Protoss to get a fourth than for Zerg to get a fifth, so I think this can go in favor of Protoss, but they have to be very careful in the middle of the map, because I have seen Protosses be 2 bases ahead and actually lose the game because they miss microed in the middle because it's such a big open space.
Yeah, it's definitely more open to good concaves, and we do have that next that Forge going down rather for MC, so it looks like it will be a Forge first. Curious if he's going to throw, if he scouts in time, any cannons up, and it does look like MVP is going to be doing the same kind of build as last time, gas first into pool, just to make sure he cannot drop any proxy pylons to block that expansion. One of the my favorite Protoss is White Raw. One of his staples is just to always cannon rush the natural, pretty much of any Zerg, and it always works out so well. I'm curious if we're going to see something like that from MC, just to try and delay that natural for as long as possible. He will get his pro up there well before the natural goes down, so we'll see if that comes to pass or come to play. I'm very curious.
Yeah, I really like the cannon rush on the low ground, and then get one cannon on the low ground and then one cannon on the high ground. You don't spend that much money because you only need one pylon, and it's very, very hard to stop. And even if it doesn't do any, let's say, damage, it still delays the natural for a very long time. And, I mean, Protoss will be mining during that time that Zerg is not on 2 base and making workers, so it can put them quite far ahead.
Yeah, if you're not doing straight up just unit damage, you're doing economic damage, especially with the cannon rush. And there is that pylon going down at the natural. And, you know, at one point, we did see MVP. He was not MVP, I apologize. Oh, yeah, no, MVP. He was bringing his drone down here, and kind of bounced it back when he saw the probe. And I'm curious why he did that. Probably just waiting for those lings. And he actually, that pylon barely did any damage. About 100 to 150 minerals late, but not too bad. And the Nexus is going down. We do have a gateway starting that wall off and a cannon just to make sure those lings do not get by and do any damage. So far, very standard openings for such a large map like this.
Yeah, I feel like we might be seeing maybe some mutas. I have seen Dongregu do it before, and this is quite a good muta map because you can just go right from that main right into the natural quite easily, and it is kind of hard for Protoss to deal with. I have seen Protosses like White Raw deal with it with ease, but it is not the easiest thing to deal with. And I wonder why oGsMC, he threw up the pylon kind of late. What I like to do is, I don't even think it's as much economic damage as maybe it is just like kind of you know, you gotta always take into effect the annoyance damage, I guess. I think it's always a good idea to throw down the pylon and then like finish the pylon early, and then you can throw up a cybernetics core, and it actually delays it for quite a long time since most Zergs only get those 4 lings out, and it's very annoying. It delays it for a very long time.
I agree. At the very least, what he could have done was drop the pylon and then go in for the scout of the main, as opposed to going in for the scout at the main, then come back and drop that pylon. The pylon would have been up, it would have had more health, it would have lasted just a little bit longer, and that's just that much more economic damage he would have done. Well, what are you going to do? Nothing you can change about it now. We do have the gateway research going down. I do love to see those Zerglings being active. He is grabbing his third almost as fast as he can, because he did see that expansion going up, the Overlord in that sneaky little place where you can't see it, you can't attack unless you have an observer or some sort of flying
Oh, you can't
units.
attack that Overlord?
No, you can't. He can't see it.
Really?
He can't anything. He can't see it. It's in a place where he's not allowed, where he can't see it unless he has some sort of air vision, which is why that stalker's just dancing around.
That's actually hilarious. So, just for coordination time, where are you right now?
Currently, I am sitting at the 6 minute 55 second mark.
Okay, yeah, I'm only like 2 seconds ahead of you.
Yep, not a big deal. Yeah, a lot of pros do that with their overlords, where they just gotta put it in a place where they get a lot of information out of that too. If you go to his vision, he can see a gas going down in the natural. He can see gateways, and he can see a heck of a lot. And now he's actually going to move it, and looks like he's going to sack it to see what he can see, as double Stargates are just finishing in the back of MC's main. We are going to see his very famous Void Ray and Phoenix play. He loves his Phoenixes. Was it MLG?
Yeah, we are going to see a Titus sort of PvZ build. I love... Sorry, what?
No. I said, was it MLG where where MC was talking about how his tip to Huck was just play more Phoenix, Phoenix good.
He is gonna spot all of this.
That's unfortunate for MC.
Hero. He's gonna spot all of that.
Yep.
Oh, that's actually really bad. This could have caught him completely off guard, but now he's going to see everything with the double Stargate, and that was a huge cost. I mean, as you can see, Mathis, he is still producing those Phoenixes and those Void Rays. He doesn't even have another Phoenix queued up, and most likely will make another Void Ray. So that was an incredible Overlord right there. He saw everything, and as you can see, we do have a ton of spores going down right now everywhere, and these spores really don't cost that much to compare to the production and the tech. Not really a waste, because you can still use these units later, but kind of a waste because they don't do that much besides the harassment early on. And as you can see, that spore does move over and a second one finishes, so he is in great shape to deal with this. And I think MC is a little ticked that he was not able to kill that Overlord. I'm not really sure if his Stalker just was out of position or something, but I think he should have been able to snipe that Overlord before it saw all that stuff. That was
I agree.
Trade.
That Overlord was already hurt as it is, so it wouldn't even take it as much of an effort to kill it off. Maybe he just was not paying attention to the minimap, or just was not keeping his eyes on the screen as well as he could. But now he's gonna bounce around, but he can't do much. There's Spore Crawlers everywhere. There's gonna be a Queen at every base. He's just gonna have to move around and just hope he can get a few things off. And here come 5 Queens to stop these 2 Void Rays that are trying to charge up.
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know what he's gonna do. He's gonna lose a Void Ray. He'll probably lose a couple Queens, maybe just one. If he transfuses, he'll lose only one.
Yeah, I think he might lose a few.
I'm actually curious to see how much damage this is gonna do outside of just killing.
Yeah, it looks
queens.
like all of them.
All the Queens are gonna go down, and that's gonna actually open up a few Overlord feasts for the rest of these Phoenixes. And this is it. That's all his Queens doing. A ton of damage. You never want to lose those Queens. He didn't even lose any of the Void Rays. He's just going to sit here, pick up the next Queen that just popped out of that auxiliary hatchery, kill that one off. He is going to have to move his Spore Crawler off, but both those Void Rays are charged up. They can quickly change targets if they wanted to, at least do some damage to it. But he's going to back up. Is he going to lose that Void Ray? Yes, he is going to lose that Void Ray. I think that was an unnecessary loss right there. I really think he could have easily moved them out of the range well before that Spore Crawler burrowed. What do you think about what's going on right now, man?
Yeah, there's just a zillion Queens coming out everywhere, and some of these Phoenixes are taking so much damage that they're just not dying, and it looks like he is targeting down the Void Ray, but is still not able to get it, and that actually did a ton more damage than I thought it would. I guess it caught him a little bit off guard than it should have. There's a ton of Lings on the map right now for some reason. There's 72 Lings right now, so he's going to go for some sort of Ling bust, but I don't think that's going to work at all. There's a cannon and a ton of Zealots here, and this is a lot of Lings that could have been drones, so it's taking a ton of damage right now. If we look at the units lost, the Zerg usually is always down more than the Protoss or the other races, but he is down by a significant amount. He's down by about 1,200 right now, and he really doesn't have any good tech besides the Roach worn outs, so he could be in some bad shape.
I mean, I feel like that air harassment should not have done nearly as much damage as it did. He knew it was coming well before it hit. He even prepped for it. He had, he had a bunch of Queens out. He had Spore Crawls all over the place, and yet MC was still able to do a ton of damage, killing off so many Queens. I'm watching right now a bunch of Lings actually take on this army, and they're actually
that was a huge loss right there from MC. I have no clue why he moved out when he saw those Lings, and that was a ton of units lost, and I don't think he can actually secure his third now. I think if he would have just waited for a few more Warpins, he would have been able to, but he lost a ton of sentries, and there's going to be a ton of Lings right now.
And
yeah, there's a
right there.
into pain, and this could do some serious damage.
Absolutely. What was his thought process behind going at that? I mean, just sit back. You did a bunch of damage, and now he's going to lose a bunch of probes. If we take a look at the worker kill count, he has killed 9 so far, and he needed to do at least some damage there. And now he's going to gun down the Stargate, so they're kind of inactive. I'm curious why he's gunning for them. And the Zealots and the Sentries are going to quickly clean up the rest of the Zerglings. But
but there's more units coming into the base right now. And but a nice force field right there. And the cannon does clean up all of those. Those are some hero cannons. 12 and 9 kills right there. There's so many Phoenixes right now. I mean, they're not going to help that much versus the Lynx, but I think they're still going to help during the late game. But MC getting a little bit greedy right there, and that is going to make him pay. And I think he just kind of completely gave up his advantage. As you can see, the units lost has evened out a lot more right now. It still is the same, but even though it's the same, he lost a lot of those units, so he will not be able to move out as quick as he could have been. I mean, he had like probably 30 more units, 30 more supply than he did right now. He could have been ahead of the Zerg, but here comes a bunch of Phoenixes right now doing a ton of damage to the natural, picking up 1 million drones. Does lose 2 Phoenixes right there, but if we take the workers' loss count, he did even that out by a lot.
Yeah, he definitely caught up. He's only 2 behind. We see a bunch of Hydras that are popped out, though, so I doubt these Phoenix will do too much more damage. Actually, they're picking up all the drones right now, and MVP really late on grabbing all of those Hydras and is now ahead in the worker kill count. Though MVP is still ahead in the drone count total, he still did a bunch of damage there. This game is back and forth. I feel like a lot of mad
13 roaches on the way right now, and there is a
hidden fourth going down right now.
Yeah, there is 1 million roaches and 1 million Hydras out, and MC.
And you are cutting out.
That
your
is,
voice is cutting out
there is state.
Yeah,
your voice is cutting out too.
Just Skype
you hear me
up on
right
us. Yeah, you're just going back and forth. I'm just watching all the Phoenixes go down on my screen right now, and I'm curious as to MVP's decision on why he's putting us fourth right next to the main.
Yeah, and Mathis, if we look right now, there's almost a full page of Hydras, and there is no Colossus out right now, so I think this is going to be really deadly. There's a ton of Zealots, but there's a good amount of Roaches too, and these Hydras are just going to have a feast right here, picking everything off. Looks like +1, +2 is about to finish, but no, the engagement's going to come before that, and a lot of Hydras are able to just do so much damage because of their great range. Roach is taking a lot of damage in the front, and I think MC might be getting cleaned up right here, even after his great advantage early game.
Even if he doesn't get cleaned up here, he's got to take a lot of damage, and honestly, this is what you want to do as Zerg. You want to be able to trade armies, so even if you lose anything, he can easily, quickly re-macro up all the way to where he was, and just keep the push going, and yeah, even if he does back up here, which, you know, on my screen right now, the encounter, he is just pushing up with, looks like a handful of Roaches and some Hydras.
Yeah, same here.
And
it looks like he is going to clean up that Void Ray,
yep,
and a lot of these units. Like you said, I don't think he'll be able to win right here, but I mean, he's just producing so many units right now. He does have that fourth up. MC does have this third, but I mean, he's just lost so much because of that Ling run by, and because of that kind of a waste of his units by those Lings. And here comes a bunch of Roaches and a few more Hydras, and he might get cleaned up right here, but there goes the Immortal. And even if he does get cleaned up, I mean, it's just ticking. The clock is ticking, you know, he's going down. Dong Regu has like 1,000 gas saved up, so he can make a ton more Hydras once he gets enough of those minerals. And I just think this is probably going to be the end here pretty soon.
Yeah, the food count is pretty much telling the story of how this is going to go. The tail of the tape is in the food. He's just got so many more units than our Protoss buddy here, and that's pretty much, I think, going to be it. I think you're right. I mean, it's just a matter of time. Even he's just picking off that pylon now, moving down. Nope, going to head back up to the natural, picking off the forge, and really just shutting him down. And after he gets the cybernetics core, that's going to be more money that MC needs to put into rebuilding that, just to make sure he can still build stalkers. And I don't see him being able to come back from this at all. There's the fight. I mean, there's not much to talk about. Moving in with all those Roaches and Hydras, going to pick off that gateway, doing a little bit of a burrowing action, kind of a taunting burrow right there. Completely unnecessary, but hilarious to watch. And now he's just going to pick off the natural. And again, it's just MC sitting on the heels. He has his Colossus out. The Colossus is moving over, going to try to clean up what it can, however fast it can. But even if he does, again, clean this up like he did prior, the macro advantage that MVP is going to have against MC is going to be phenomenal. And doing a little pick up micro with that Colossus.
Yeah, that was some cute micro.
Yeah, that was pretty nice. And it's going to go down. It's finally down. And MVP, there's the GG. And wow, that was some crazy decisions from both players in this game. I'm not sure what some of them were thinking, but...
What do you think was the reason for MC's downfall? Because I thought he was very far ahead, even though he got scouted. I mean, he lost like Dungregoo lost 8 queens, was not able to inject for the longest amount of time, which inject is a huge part of StarCraft 2, as everyone pretty much knows this Zerg. You get 4 more larvae every, I think it's 25 seconds or whatever, and he was not able to do that. He did sit on a surplus of minerals, and he just took so much damage. I mean, he lost a lot of workers and so many queens just because he made all those links, but those links eventually did pay off. So what do you think was MC's main downfall?
I honestly think it's when he moved out at the wrong time to take his third. He could have just, those lings were there, he saw the lings, maybe he thought he could take them, but if he just sat back on his advantage, just walled up, waited for the lings to either go away or where they tried to bust down and at least took them out, and then moved out for his third, but instead he pretty much lost 2 armies there. He lost his initial Zealot Sentry army with the probe and that pylon he was placing down, and then he moved out again and pretty much lost all of that. That really set him back. He had to basically make more army to stop the Zerglings that ran into the main, and it put him so far behind. I mean, that's my personal take, where he really started to lose the game. What about you?
Yeah, I was really surprised when he moved out. I mean, that was just very, very greedy. That reminds me of that's kind of a, what's his name, Adele Scott thing to do. Adele Scott he loves to expand, just he tries to play as greedy as possible, which can obviously pay off for MC because, I mean, he's phenomenal. I've seen him be greedy very many times and it paid off, but like you said, he saw all of those lings and not really sure why he thought he could take that. I mean, he literally saw the entire group moving out, so I don't really know why he thought he could win that fight. I think he could have won the game quite easily if he just wouldn't have lost all those units. I mean, that was a huge blunder right there. I thought he was just so far ahead. He had complete air control. No overlords were able to scout anymore. He could have won any tech path he wanted to, and he probably could have took that third quite easily with just a few more units.
I mean, and even so, I mean, I guess MVP needed that mistake because MVP had seen that there was air coming, prepared for it, and still did so much damage, probably more than it should have. So that mistake really allowed MVP to come back into the game and take it, obviously. So, oh well, even the pros are prone to mistakes. That's the nature of StarCraft. It's still being felt out, and that's just we're probably going to see more and more of those. God knows we've seen Idra make more than one mistake and get punished for it so hard. So, thank you so much, Titus, for joining me in this cast. It was a great time. Go check it out. The first game is on Titus's channel. Subscribe, watch it, and I hope you enjoyed this little best of 3 we did. Thank you again, Titus.
Yeah, the first game is on my channel, and go check it out. Definitely subscribe to Mathis. He is a great caster. I always watch him every night before I go to bed,
I
which you might think is kind of weird. But I that. Yeah, he likes to send me to sleep. But still a good game nonetheless from both these players, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem, man. Thanks for coming. Bye-bye.